Angus had a great seat at an England versus Australia women's cricket match at Edgbaston, Birmingham, in July 2023. However, when about to travel to Edinburgh the next day, he was falsely suspected of being a terrorist. Why?
Wow!
So, Angus had a great seat at an England versus Australia women's cricket match at Edgbaston, Birmingham, in July 2023. However, when about to travel to Edinburgh the next day, he was falsely suspected of being a terrorist. Why?
Not where I thought it was going.
No,
I grant you that.
That last word there really changed the question.
And I should, I guess, point out that Angus submitted this himself.
Angus is Angus.
This is Angus is Angus.
He had a shirt and it said, "I'm a terrorist."
my I am not a terrorist shirt is causing people to ask a lot of questions already answered by my shirt.
It says I'm not a terrorist. Can't you read?
Also, the only connection in my head that I can make right now is, and it's the wrong year, it's the wrong part of the country. It's just, we're talking vaguely about Scotland. And there is that just incredible front page headline from, I can't remember. It was an attempted attack on an airport about 10 years ago in Scotland. And it just had this headline paper. I kicked burning terrorists so hard in the balls that I sprained my ankle. It was something like that. It was the first person out of the guy who stopped the attack. And it was just the most wonderfully Scottish thing.
Nice. So it specifically said they had a great seat, which I assume means that if there were cameras and things, something exciting happened, you may well have gotten a good shot of him.
Yeah, 100%. Yep, definitely would have got a great shot of him.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, it was with a gun, which meant, no, that doesn't.
I thought you were going to say he had such great seats, he spent the whole trip to Edinburgh being like, those seats were the bomb. Oh, there was such bomb seat. They were great.
Could it be something to do with what I think on the internet is called tombstoning, which is, there was a picture of him, and this was an important game, so he happened to be seen in a picture that got like splashed over the front page because of a newspaper, because this was a huge deal. So you could see a picture of him. And it just so happened that the headline right next to this picture was about terrorism.
And then someone saw him and was like, that's the guy in the newspaper.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fun.
No, nothing like that.
Oh, that's upsetting. I wish that were right.
I assumed that travelling Birmingham to Edinburgh, you would do on the train. But there is an airport at both of those places, and often, like if it's a last-minute trip, I hate to say it, flights can be cheaper. They shouldn't be, but they can be. So if you're accused of being a terrorist, that might have happened at airport security.
Yeah, I can confirm it was at airport security. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, Tom's got something in the brain.
No, this is going off you saying, Dani, that he must have had great seats and a great shot. What if he had a cricket ball? What if he'd caught a six that went outside the boundary? And he was going through airport security, and they're like, what is this hard round thing that looks like a really comedy version of a bomb? Something lined up in his luggage, so he'd caught a ball, and there was like a fuse coming out of it because like his toothbrush was next to it.
I packed the ball that I caught and my lucky fuse.
Or just something. I'm like airport security are looking at it, and it's like, that's not what a bomb looks like, but it's what a bomb looks like in a cartoon. And airport security might have been like, we gotta ask about this.
So I can confirm that it wasn't a bomb cricket ball, but it was something that he got at the match. That was with him.
You know that story that went around the internet of like the person who was doing algebra on a plane, and then someone looked and went, "It's Arabic, and that also means he's a terrorist for some reason," and then like freaked out about it. And it was the same thing, but it was signatures of a bunch of players, which are fundamentally illegible. No sportsman has ever signed something, or sportswoman has ever signed anything where you've looked at it and been like, "I know who signed this." So it just looked, and someone thought the same thing.
No. Would you like a clue?
We might need a clue.
Yeah.
Okay. Angus wore the same pair of shoes on both days.
Oh, hang on. I've nearly fallen foul of this before. It wasn't a cricket match, but I was in the US. Someone took me to a shooting range. And then, without thinking, I went from that shooting range to catch my flight at the airport. And it wasn't until the guy behind me got swabbed for explosives that I went, oh, that was nearly a very bad thing. That was nearly me coming up as positive on every explosives test.
Well, Tom, actually, fun fact, which I won't share any names, but I remember talking to some ballistic experts who had spent a day in a field blowing things up with nitroglycerin and other various explosives, had chunks of those explosives in their shoes, and they did get pulled aside for a random explosive swab at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were waved through as being completely negative for explosives. So maybe you didn't need to worry.
This is an Ashes game. This is an Ashes game. It has like pyrotechnics going off and things like that. Was he downwind of the pyros?
Yes.
Oh, wild.
That's it. You've nailed it. He was downwind of the pyrotechnics.
I had no idea they were that fancy.
Yes, that's exactly right. So this situation happened to Angus, who's the question writer. On the 1st of July, 2023, he attended the women's Ashes match at Edgbaston and sat on the front row. Every time a wicket fell or a boundary was scored, large flames and pyrotechnic effects would be let off just a few metres away. The next day, Angus flew to Edinburgh for work and wore the same pair of shoes. Airport security swabbed his shoes as part of a random check and found traces of explosives. The only possible reason was being so close to the pyros. Angus was allowed to proceed and made it to the plane just in time.
The Lateral book is out now. Just click on the link to get your copy.